everybody, it's Pam and Bill at Country Living Newbie Custom Decor in Spring Hill, Tennessee. Thanks for joining us on the Dixie Belle page on a Sunday night. We hope to do a lot of different things tonight. We have a lot of decisions to make about this piece. We're not going to make them all tonight, but we're going to get as many made as we can. We're going to show this piece in different stages. So we're going to start by showing you what it looked like to begin with. Although there was no chicken wire on this we've actually had this piece about a year, probably, right?
Yeah.
At least. And there was that pretty thin kind of stripping molding on here, but it was cracked and broken in half the places. So we just took it off and put some chicken wire on it. But actually, to finish this piece, we're actually going to remove this. So it's not even going to be part of the piece, and we still have the little key with it. We're going to take it off. And we're actually going to turn this into a mirror. So, not tonight though.
Without the chicken wire.
That is a whole nother live. So, if you're joining, you know what to do, guys, right? Invite a friend. We have our link up in the description. So, if you like what you see, please jump over to our page after the video. And our link to purchase Dixie Belle products is in there. Please check out your local retailers. If you're joining and you are a local retailer or you're a retailer, put your link in there and where you're located. Let everybody know. If you're a brand ambassador, let us know. If you're just watching for fun, if it's your first time, let us know. So we want to know all about you guys. So we're coming to you from Middle Tennessee. We're about a half an hour south of Nashville. In beautiful Spring Hill, we have our store here. We're actually in our newly designed classroom. So we are excited. We do lots of workshops here, and we finally have our classroom, I think, set up pretty good, actually. And we have someone live in our audience tonight. Everybody say hi to Janet. So Janet comes to our store quite a bit, and she's painting all kinds of things, so she popped in to spend some time with us. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. So this piece, a lot of prep was done to this already. Obviously we took the door off. Since the door is going to be staying off, we had to patch up some of the holes where the hinges were. So we did that with Dixie Belle's mud. Very easy to use. So it's just, looks a little bit like a spackle paste. This is white, comes in brown and black, but you can see it's kind of thick and pasty. You just rub it on, let it dry, sand it off. Done. And Bill,
well,
go ahead.
Not always.
Well,
depending on the size of the hole you're trying to fill,
yeah,
it will shrink. So you may need to sand it and then reapply again and then sand it down again. And
this is just one coat. I mean, it feels pretty smooth, but I can see it's still, you can tell when it's drying, it gets bright white, and then where it's still a little bit wet, it gets like a, almost like a tan color. So it's still a little bit damp where it's thick in the hole. So we may need to put another coat on, but we'll see how it goes. Then there was a small piece of veneer that was chipped under here. So we put a little wood glue under it, and it was just a very small chip, and used Dixie mud on that as well and patched that up. The entire thing was cleaned with white lightning, and it was absolutely disgusting. It just kept coming. You know, do you ever clean those pieces and like your rag is like green and brown, and you go over it once and you're like, all right, it looks pretty good. You go over it again and it's just as nasty. So
you find out there was nothing but dirt. There's no more furniture.
No furniture. We had to rebuild this whole thing. So anyway, totally cleaned several times with Dixie Belle's White Lightning and rinsed off a couple times. I always rinse twice because I feel like sometimes I get the residue from the White Lightning on there, and I really want to make sure I get it off. So I usually rinse twice with the just a damp cloth. And then this whole piece has 2 coats of Dixie Belle's Boss on it. So Boss blocks odor, stains, stops bleed through. This is the clear. It looks white, but it's clear. It also comes in a white. And I didn't really know at the time what colors we were going to be using on this. So I went ahead and just did it clear. And you'll see with the color that we used, it actually it covered in 2 coats beautifully. So if you know you're going to be painting white or a light color over something that bleeds, you can use the white boss, and that will help you with your coverage and using less paint. So here's the other thing with this piece. Do you ever wonder like how people get inside when they paint the backs of pieces and put these beautiful stencils or transfers on? Like, so we took the door off and I'm like, oh, we're gonna paint the back, and I'm like, all right, I have to boss it. So I'm kind of in here like doing this, and it's just not easy, right? It is easy. It is easy. So here is what you do. Dun, 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 dun. And it's on wheels, which isn't furniture on wheels fantastic?
And they're brass wheels. They're not the wooden wheels that always fall apart when you use them.
So here is the back. Are we good in the camera?
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah. So here's what you do. And it seems so simple.
A lot of these pieces sometimes come in several panels. This piece is a single panel, and very seldom did they ever glue these. But if they do, the glue is probably no longer any good. It's just nailed. So what I ended up doing, instead of trying to get a hammer and popping these nails out.
Where'd you go? Oh.
I just used the palm of my hand and hit the inside of the panel to get the nails to pop out.
And here, do you want me to?
Whoa, whoa. That.
You got it?
Now, there were a lot more nails in this, but we just put 2 in just to show you the technique.
Yeah.
And where do you want this?
So that makes it so much easier to paint the inside of your, oh, you got it all dirty with your hands. Let me see. That was Bill, everybody. I know he doesn't come on camera very much, so give him some hearts and some love. So now we have the back off, and now you don't have to crawl inside to paint, right? You just turn it around and you can paint the whole inside, easy peasy. So there's your trick. The back comes off, take it off. And I want to say, am I in the middle?
Yeah, you look like you're on TV.
There you go. It's like a puppet show thing. Thank you to Amy from AJ's Vintage Designs, because she helped talk me through some ideas with this piece. I was gonna say with this picture. I'm thinking like TV picture movie show. So she had told me about taking the back off. So you guys, if you don't follow the brand ambassadors, make sure you follow these guys and listen to them, because they know what they're doing and they will give you some amazing hints and tips and tricks that will make your life so much easier. So, like, truly, I thought I was going to be crawling into this and painting it. So now we have the back off. Again, 2 coats of gloss. And then the question was, what do we want to do with this? So there's also 2 shelves that go in it, and they're the shelves with the grooves for the plates, but we're not going to use it like that, because we're leaving the door off. We're painting the whole inside. We're going to make this very feminine. And just to kind of tell you how we arrived to what we're doing with this piece. Originally, we were going to leave these panels and the drawer natural. This is a beautiful tiger maple. It has, the boss has kind of dulled it now, but it has really some beautiful lines and grain in it. But the colors that we chose, which, again, listen to your ambassadors. We're going to do some blending, and if you all follow me, you know I am not a blender. This is the 4th piece I've ever blended in my life. And a couple nights ago, Amy did a live on a small nightstand, and she said, if you are a beginner blender, Tea Rose and the new Sawmill Gravy blend so easily. So if you're a beginner, grab those 2 colors and blend them. So again, listen to these guys. They know what they're doing. So we went ahead and did that. And because we're going with such light, feminine colors, to leave this dark made the piece kind of, it was kind of giving mixed messages. It was kind of masculine, kind of feminine. So we're going to go ahead and paint the whole thing. So the whole top will be white. The bottom will be pink. and probably halfway through the drawer, and then decisions to be made regarding stencils, transfers, and molds. I'm going to show you one half that we already did. And normally Bill is saying hi to people, but I've been just talking and talking, so.
It's 180 people. It'll take an hour to go through everybody.
I think 200 would be like our a record for us on a live. So invite your friends, and don't forget we have Janet here, so add one.
Okay.
100, and she's like, oh,
181.
Hey, we're double dipping. Okay, so here's the side of the piece that's done. Blending, to me, when you see it on a camera, there always looks like there's kind of a line of demarcation, even when the blend is good. So this piece is actually blended here, tea rose and Sawmill gravy, and it's a very soft blend, and she was right. They blended beautifully, and we're gonna do that on the other side, so I'll show you. We're not doing like a 3-4 color blend on this. Again, if you're just starting, start simple. Pick 2 colors that blend easy and practice and go for it.
It's a very subtle color change.
Yeah, so pretty. So this is tea rose. Ooh, where are we? Oh, here we are. So this is tea rose, which is a really pretty pink. It's kind of got a beige undertone, so it's nice and soft. You know, it's not real. It's feminine, but it's not like girly. You know what I mean? Like a hot pink, soft pink, or anything. It's just a kind of a warm pink. And then we're going to use the new Sawmill gravy. So this is one of the 5 new colors that just came out. And if drop cloth was your go-to, you're probably going to drop cloth like a hot potato, and you're going to go to this.
Oh, I like that.
Drop.
No, hot potato. That'd be a nice color.
Hot potato. Dixie Belle. Hot potato soup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? Okay. Anyway, we digress. We usually do. So Sawmill gravy. It's a little bit deeper than drop cloth, so kind of a grayish, like a gray beige. Super pretty. So that's what this side's going to look like. And then we need to figure out what we're going to do as far as some transfers and stencils maybe. So I'll kind of show you where we're going with the inside, and then we'll kind of branch out and make some decisions. Okay. So the other side has 2 coats of paint, but no blending. So just laid on the base coat of Sawmill gravy and tea rose, and that's what we'll blend on the video. If I ever shut my mouth and actually pick up a paintbrush, we'll show you that.
and time's up. Let's say goodbye.
And the show is over. Thank you guys for joining. Okay, so we're gonna paint the front 1 coat so you can kind of see that. We're gonna blend the 2nd coat, and we're also gonna show you a little bit of a mold. Originally, when I thought about this piece, I was going to use some of the wood you bend molds, and we'll do some videos on this on our page to show you how neat these are. But they're an alternative to the making molds with paper clay or resin. They're very cool. But because we were going to be using so many florals on this with the transfer, I didn't think that these really fit. So we wanted to do a floral transfer, and I didn't have any in the wood you bend. So we're going to use the Redesign with Prima.
And you don't necessarily have to use wood you bend on a flat surface.
No. You can, no. Wood you bend is good for bending around curved surfaces. You can use it on flat surfaces, but you don't need to use it. So we're going to use this mold, and sorry, it's not in the garden. I can't think of what it is. I forget. If anybody knows the name of it, throw it in there. But we're going to make a mold out of hot glue. So I know the molds can be challenging sometimes with paper clay or with resin. So hot glue is another alternative. We actually put one up here already, and we used wood glue to put it on just about an hour ago. So if you use wood glue, it doesn't dry like super quick. So this is still kind of moving around a little bit. So you may want to use some hot glue to get it on if you need to be a little more quick about it with the drying. But here is a mold, and I don't know, do you want to bring that here?
I want to bring that there because I don't want you getting any closer to the lights.
You don't trust me?
No, it's just the light shines up on your face and makes you look like you're telling a ghost story.
Well, thank you for that. I love you too, honey. Jeez.
You're gonna go back and look at this later and go, oh my God, the lighting is just awful.
Okay, so let's get moving here. So here's one that we made earlier. So it's hot glue, it's bendable, and we painted it with tea rose. But I went ahead and decided to use that other one instead, so that's the only reason that one's up there. When you use a hot glue to make a mold, you can be very neat or very messy. And if you are very messy like I am, you will end up having to trim a lot of the edges. So this one is trimmed nice and neat. This one I just popped out and didn't fix it up. So there's a lot of edges here that need to be cut off. And you can do that with just a little scissor or an X-Acto knife will do it. But it's very easy to do. But it's very easy with the hot glue to kind of get a little messy with your edges. Okay, so there's a little bit more cleanup. But we're just gonna make a quick small one tonight because we want to get painting. But I do want to show you, you can use hot glue to do a mold. And you basically want to start by pushing the glue into the mold and just make sure you fill it up enough, but don't overfill because then you'll run into problems with the back not being flat and it won't lay nice on your piece. So you just kind of push it in. And then you wait just a few minutes to pop it out. You don't have to wait very long. Pop a little bit more in there. Try to kind of keep it smooth as you go. And I always try to get in the edges first and work my way to the center. And there we go. So we're gonna let that sit for just a couple minutes. We are gonna unplug our glue gun.
Did you check the top to see if it's flat?
I did not. It's not. You guys know how we are, right? We just kind of... Sometimes we do things for the first time on these videos.
The hot glue is not self-leveling.
Yes. That's a great way to describe.
Resin seems to me to be the easiest way to make a mold. It levels. It's hard as a rock when it dries. The problem with the resin is it smells awful.
And it takes a while. Like this is done, right? And the resin you kind of have to wait and...
Depends on the resin that you get. But
it makes the cleanest mold, like the prettiest.
It makes it beautiful,
cleanest.
yeah. It makes a very nice mold.
Okay, so we are going to leave that there for just a minute and we will take it out shortly. So let's go ahead and get some paint on this thing. We're going to start with some tea rose. We're going to pour it.
Patty's asking, where do we get the molds?
This mold is from Redesign with Prima. So you can, you can't, get from their website. You have to find someone who sells. So find yourself a retailer. You can go on their Redesign with Prima website. We sell them.
Do we ship those?
We ship them. I don't carry a lot of these right now. But you can, but they're Redesigned with Prima, and a lot of Dixie Belle retailers also carry the molds. So if you have a local Dixie Belle retailer, check with them first because they might have some of them. Okay, so we're gonna.
Deborah's asking, is the resin flexible? And that's a no.
It's a
absolutely
big
not.
Fat no. If you drop it,
it's actually brittle.
Yeah, it's super hard. I didn't bring one up. We have one downstairs, but it's almost like glass. It's kind of like glass. I mean, it breaks. If you drop it, it's broken. Okay, so we're gonna come down here and we're gonna do our tea rose on the front up to about the middle of the drawer. And have the hardware for this is really cool. So we're gonna keep that hardware, unless I turn it into an earring because I think it's really cool. And
turn your head a little bit.
sorry.
No.
Oh, how do the Nice? Oh, look.
I like it.
All right. So if you've never used tea rose, you need to. It is one of the most beautiful colors out there. And I don't know if she's on, but I want to thank Amy from AJ's Vintage Designs, because she did help me kind of talk through this piece with the ideas and what I wanted it to look like. I didn't
What's
show
Amy's last name? Jorgensen
Yeah.
O'Connor. She's on.
Yeah. Thank you, Amy. All right.
I mean, there's so many people I haven't been able to.
That's okay.
Because one, you never let me say anything. Because you're nonstop talking.
I'll shut up. Go ahead.
And
you
two,
talk.
I just can't.
You talk.
I got nothing to say now.
You see? That's why I keep talking. Yeah, so tea rose is one of the most beautiful colors that Dixie Belle makes. And you know they make 69 colors now. Like, that's like, wow. So many. And if you look at their color recipe chart, where you mix 50-50, which you can find on their page, you have endless colors.
So Deborah Ann's asking, where did we get this piece?
Did we
Was
get this
this
at the
the-
Nashville Flea Market?
We might have. I think we got this piece and two other pieces.
Yeah, there was was it a set? I can't. We've had this for like a year. Like,
Yeah.
We've had this so long, and we just haven't done anything with it until now. Because, if you guys don't know us, we haven't been doing this that long. So we've only been in this store doing this for about 15 months. We were in healthcare, so if you're a nurse or you're in healthcare, let us know. That's what we did. I'm a nurse. Bill was a respiratory therapist, 27 years. And he's also been a carpenter, though, since he's been a boy. And we just quit our jobs. And I started painting the furniture he was building. And Dixie Belle made it so easy to learn that we just decided we were going to do it for a living.
Deborah, yes, this is a china cabinet.
Yeah, there's shelves that go in here with the grooves for dishes. But we're going to kind of repurpose it and make it more of a feminine, would look good in a bedroom, a bathroom. If you were lucky enough to have a ginormous bathroom where you can put all your pretty towels and stuff in there.
So just to show everyone what I built today.
Are you showing the barn doors?
I'm showing the barn doors, yes.
We do a lot of custom furniture. So Bill builds quite a bit of stuff. And so normally, this is actually the first time I've ever painted something, a piece with a drawer in it. So I'm really inside. I'm kind of freaking out a little bit because I'm afraid, and I see people do this on videos all the time, right? All our ambassadors and other retailers that do videos, they paint with the drawer in and then they say they go back later and kind of get the insides. With my luck, the drawer will probably be stuck shut. I won't be able to open it.
All right, we got Cindy Francis, who I think is probably new to our videos, is asking, is this chalk paint?
Yes, so it's a mineral chalk paint by Dixie Belle. It's a thick paint, very easy to work with, very minimal prep.
That was one of our other questions. Do you have to sand first?
Yeah, not normally. So, sanding, I think sanding is a personal preference to some extent. If you have something that's kind of slick, Dixie Belle makes a bonding agent problem solver called Slick Stick. So if it's super slick, like a laminate or Formica, tile, glass, that kind of thing, you can use Slick Stick on it and not have to sand. I find it rare that I have to use that, so you can clean your piece. If it's a little slick, scuff it with some sandpaper and paint away.
Some really old pieces have like loose varnish that might be peeling off. You may want to sand that down first. And what kind of chalk paint is this, by the way?
Meaning the brand is Dixie Belle. Is that what we're?
That's what I'm asking.
Oh.
Just trying to plug Dixie Belle.
Oh, that was your question?
Yes, that was my question. You said this is mineral chalk paint. It's like, well, we're on on Dixie Belle's site. Maybe we should.
So we're gonna stop the T Rose partway up the drawer here. What I did want to say was, while you don't need to generally sand, you can clean your piece first. You have to clean, so you need to get Dixie Belle's White Lightning. It's a TSP based formula. It deglosses, degreases, and opens the pores up in the wood, because chalk paint needs something porous to kind of bond onto. So you must clean your piece. So if you say, you always hear, oh, no prep, no prep, no prep. Cleaning is essential, okay? You have to clean. You don't want to do all this and then your paint doesn't adhere, right? It's not going to stick to something that has a layer of oil from your fingers or dust on it.
So Cindy asks, so this is a mineral chalk paint?
Correct.
And basically,
so
the mineral is the chalk or the calcium carbonate.
Yeah, so Annie Sloan has, from what I understand, has trademarked the term chalk paint. So you're not going to see any other brand that says chalk paint. Only Annie Sloan can do that. So you'll see mineral paint, mineral-like paint, chalk-like paint, that kind of thing. So a little tidbit of info.
And another question real quick. The colors again.
This is T Rose.
It is not drop cloth though.
No, but telling you guys, if you like drop cloth, you will love Sawmill Gravy. That's the white, off-white that we're going to be using. It's more of a grayish, right? Kind of a gray beige. A little deeper than drop cloth.
So do you refinish or paint the hardware?
We're going to, actually on this piece, I'm probably going to paint the hardware. I may even put some rosé metallic on the hardware. Not sure yet. Might try to get a little gold in here. Not sure. There's about 10 decisions I got to make on this piece yet. So I'm not sure. But we'll be using the original hardware. It's beautiful.
All the nurses are coming out.
Yay! All the nurses that want to quit their jobs and paint, right? We need you guys. We need you guys. So I'm deliberately avoiding this mold. This is a hot glue mold, which we need to pop our mold out. But it's got wood glue on it, and the wood glue is not even close to being dry, so I'm afraid if I hit it with paint, I'm going to wipe it all over. You want to?
No, you can do it.
Okay. Okay, so here's the mold that we did before. And I guess, what would we wait? Maybe 10, 15 minutes?
No,
So there it is. Super easy, and it keeps your mold nice and clean. Like when you use paper clay, look how messy they get. When you hot glue them, all that stuff comes out. So on this one, there's lots of little fuzzies, so you kind of have to pick them off. You can cut them with a little scissor or an X-Acto knife, but we will put a couple of these up here, and we'll paint those the T Rose. But we're going to stay away from that tonight because that is just not, it's not dry enough yet.
So a few people are asking, you're not using a mister bottle.
I'm not actually. I usually do, but I don't know. I'm just not this time. I have one. I have it right here. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I don't know. I just, sometimes the paint, this is pretty a good consistency for me. I find some of the colors are thicker than others, but the T Rose is pretty, it's pretty good the way it is.
It seems to be flowing pretty good.
Yeah, if my brush was dragging, I would definitely mist my brush. And that will also help your paint go a little bit further. So you absolutely can use a mister.
And at some point, as the paint does start to dry on the brush, you are going to have to.
Yeah. This brush I've been using since 8 o'clock this morning. I haven't washed it. I just kept it in a baggie because I had to start the sides of the piece. But yeah, totally up to you guys if you want to use a mister bottle. It does help the paint go on a little bit easier and go a little bit further.
Did you use Boss to prevent the bleed through?
I did. There are 2 coats of Boss on this. We did that this morning. Usually I will wait overnight in between steps. So if I Boss or Slick Stick something, I usually wait till the next day to paint it, and then I'll wait till the next day to seal it. But we didn't have time on this because we weren't really sure what we were going to do on this live, and we just thought this would be a good piece to do. So we're going to do our Sawmill gravy on the rest, and then we'll pop over to the side. We got time, plenty of time. We'll pop over to the side and we'll do a little blend. Let's see here. Let's put.
So Cindy again is asking, what is Boss?
Boss is what we call a problem solver. So blocks odor, stain, and stops bleed through. So that's what Boss stands for. So if you have a stinky piece, something that maybe smells like nicotine or just kind of musty, you can use clear Boss on it. So like the inside of a drawer, you can use clear Boss on and not paint it, because sometimes the insides of the drawers are kind of stinky. So you can do that. It comes in clear and white, but it's a problem solver. You only need to use it on something that you think is gonna pull the tannins through, or something that has an odor. So yeah, bleed.
Especially on using a light color paint over a dark piece, an old piece like this, the tannins from the stains and the wood are gonna bleed right through that white or light piece.
So here's Sawmill gravy.
Where's the biscuits?
I know. I love all these fun names. I would like to know at Dixie Belle, who comes up with the names?
Safety tip though,
Yes.
I would not recommend biscuits and this paint.
No, do not use this as gravy. So look at it, such a pretty color. It's that kind of grayish. It's deeper than drop cloth. I would put it between drop cloth and sandbar if I had to pick.
So question, what transfers are we using? I mean, I'll glance over to them over there.
I will show you guys. Let me lay this coat on, and then we're not gonna get to do the transfer tonight, but I'll show you which one we're gonna use. And it's one that's just beautiful with tea rose. So this paint is a little thicker. So I'm not gonna wet the piece, but I am just gonna spray my brush a little bit. And again, this brush, I've been using it because you can see how much paint it has on it. Bill usually yells at everyone in our classes if their paint goes up to the top of the brush.
You're only supposed to use the tip of the brush.
I've been using this all day, so it's getting a little thick.
Tammy Weaver says she's been using Sawmill gravy. She loves the
So
color.
nice, right? Did you just like kick drop cloth to the curb? Don't kick drop cloth to the curb. Keep using it. But you're gonna love this color.
Susan asks, I guess drop cloth is the off-white?
Yes, drop cloth is one of the off-whites. It's got a little bit of a beige undertone. So there's a couple whites. Fluff is one. It's got a little bit of a gray undertone. Buttercream has a little bit of a yellow undertone, and drop cloth has the beige. And then there's cotton, which is pure white. So here's another thing I don't normally do. I don't usually go sideways on a piece. I usually go up and down, especially on the sides, but on this piece I'm going sideways. It's a little bit easier because it's a short distance, right? They have to start at the top and get all the way to the bottom without stopping, and I think there'll be less brush strokes because I don't have to stop. But again, whatever, you be you. You decide.
Just make sure you check for drips on those edges.
Yeah, yeah. So as I'm kind of coming off the edge here, I'm looking here. I'm not looking over here. I think we're okay. The whole inside of this is going to be painted. We're not going to do that tonight. But the whole inside, and then if you just joined, the back is already painted. So we took the back off and painted it. And then we're going to put a transfer on that. And again, totally up to you all if you want to use a mister bottle or not. Didn't have to use it on the tea rose, but this one is definitely a little bit thicker.
Lisa asks, where's the door and shelves? Well, there's the
door's
door,
over there.
which we are not using. We're going to turn it into a mirror. And the shelves are over there somewhere.
Yeah, the shelves, there's 2 shelves, and they have those grooves like you would put plates on. But we're not going to, what's the word? Kind of stage this like that. It's going to be more of like a linen dresser kind of thing.
Deborah asks, do you ever spray paint?
So do we ever put paint in a sprayer and spray it? I think that's what you're asking.
I think so.
Bill does, yeah. So I'll let you talk about that.
I do spray. I have some professional equipment. You have to kind of have a place to do it. You can do it outside. You just have to be careful of weather conditions, obviously, and birds. And bugs, because for some reason the bugs love the paint when it's sprayed on or when you're spraying a finish on. Usually you have to dilute pretty good, usually an 80-20, 80% paint, 20% water. And I always filter the mixture in. Yeah, well, it's more of a filter. It's okay. A 60.
I was trying to get in on
60,
the
80. Trying to interrupt is what you're doing. But anyway, that's probably would be a good video to do.
Yeah.
Some kind of spraying. There's a certain technique involved in that, but.
And Dixie
I would have
Belle.
been done with this in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker.
It's the preparation of the paint. Once you get spraying, it's done.
Yeah, okay.
And you don't get a thick layer of paint either. So you have to do multiple small coats or light coats.
So there is a much better brush to be doing some of these details with. Dixie Belle makes a round brush. Let me get it. So this brush, this is a round small. It's a little bit better for getting in detail. I was just being lazy and using the brush that I had.
You don't want to clean any more brushes.
Oh my gosh, I cleaned so many brushes. I'm not being super careful here because this is going to be blended at some point. So right now I'm just trying to get, yeah, that's white. Okay.
So we're getting, what's the best brush?
It depends what you're painting. The Dixie Belle synthetic brushes I think are everyone's favorite. There's lots of sizes and shapes. So the mini angled is, I would say if you're gonna pick one brush to get started on, because they're investment brushes, you know, they're not cheap brushes, but they are gonna give you the best finish, least amount of brush strokes, no shedding. This is the mini angled, so it's a 2-inch, it's a short little handle. They make a flat one too, but I would say start with one of these. It's good for almost all surfaces. It's not great for spindles, but most of your surfaces you can get done with this. And then there's an oval medium synthetic brush. So I would say start with those two. And you know, you can kind of get the others from there, but those are two good ones to start with. And I don't think brushes are overrated at all. I do think you need to get a good brush. If you want to have a great finish, you can use a chip brush, but are you going to get the best finish with it? No. Will it do the job? Yeah.
Depends on the look you're going for too.
Well, true. If you're going for some chippy farmhouse thing, then chip brush is fine.
Yeah. Throw it in a bucket and throw it on the piece.
Hey, we'll do that sometime.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know this part's a little tedious. So we're gonna, I think what I'll do, I'm gonna not do this part. We'll flip it around. Let's do the blending on the side. Time always goes so fast, when you're having fun. All right. So the rest of this will be white. This will be white, and we'll be blending those two colors together. But for time's sake, let's turn this around. Oh, let's show the transfer, right? People wanted to see the transfer. So in the back of the piece, this is the back. We're gonna put lavender bush, a redesign with Prima transfer. Maybe show the back, I guess it's better. And it comes in 2 sheets. So we have this long sheet that goes vertically. So we'll put that in the middle. We'll probably cut it so the shelves don't obscure a lot of it. So we'll have to measure and see where the shelves are going. But then this piece just has some nice flowers to cut up. So we'll decide, do we want to put those on the drawer? Do we want to put them on the side? And then I will probably do, I'll probably do a stick and style stencil on the drawer. So this is an adhesive sticky stencil. I just have a little piece cut off now, but we'll put that probably across the whole drawer. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's got some nice flowers in it. And I also have some really big stencils that I may do on the side. So we might do like a raised stencil with some sea spray in the same color. So in the white or in the Sawmill gravy. So you see the stencil, but it's not a different color. It'll just be a little bit textured and raised, but subtle. So
if you use that stencil on the drawer, what color that's blended, what color paint will you do it?
I don't know. I may. It depends where. Yeah, it's probably going to cut right through the middle. That is a good point, Miss Janet. I don't know. We'll have to see. Because it's going to be kind of hard to blend.
Why not use both? Just kind of
dab it
in spots.
Yeah, sometimes we just do like a soft, almost a faded stencil.
I mean, like maybe do the tea rose over the gravy, and then the gravy dab it over where the tea rose is.
Oh yeah.
So it mixes.
Like a reverse.
Yeah.
Like a reverse stencil. Okay, we're gonna get down here. We're gonna blend these 2 colors. So there's 2 coats of each color on here, and they've been dried. I'm gonna do a little dry brush blending. So this is a Redesign with Prima stencil brush or wax brush. They make several different sizes. This is the like the medium one, and it's dry, so there's no paint on it, and you want to keep it dry, right? So get yourself a rag or a paper towel, because when we start to kind of feather out the 2 colors, this is what we're going to use. This is only one technique to do this. You don't need to do it this way. You can use your 2 wet brushes and blend that way. That's fine too. But this is kind of the way I find it easiest. In all 4 times that I've done it. So we're going to get a wet layer here.
A couple of questions, and maybe it would be better to answer those later.
We got.
I love the large stencils. Does Dixie Belle have them? And what do you do to get selected by Dixie Belle to do tutorials?
So Dixie Belle should be on. I will let them take that. The stencils, you know, I don't know. I'm a Redesign with Prima retailer, so I carry the large stencils. I know Dixie Belle does carry some, but I don't know if they carry the large ones. So I'm gonna wet this now.
You're wetting the piece, not
I'm
the
wetting
brush.
the piece, yep. And I'm gonna get my tea rose up against this Sawmill gravy.
And the Sawmill gravy is wet as well.
Yep. And I'm just gonna blend them together. They blend like, so Amy was totally right. These colors blend so easy. I'm gonna go up a little bit on the edge. If you see a harsh line, just hit it with your other color. And then you can take your dry brush and just wisp it. You need to keep drying it, okay? Because you're gonna start getting some of the color overlapping. So you'll pull up, you know, a lot of the dark into the light if you don't keep wiping it off. So I'm just wisping, I'm barely touching this. Just a dry brush, kind of feathering it in. And on camera, to me, blending doesn't look blended. There always looks like there's a mark, but there's not. So it's pretty subtle change or blend.
On camera, it's also still wet.
Yeah, and it's at different degrees of drying, so it'll look kind of funky. So I found this.
Amy Jorgensen, Susie Ratcliffe says, do you just watch different people until you feel comfortable, like to do your own video? It's like, how many videos do you watch?
Endless. But honestly, both Bill and I are pretty comfortable doing videos and speaking in front of people. We've done that before in our past lives. So, in our past lives, not lives.
This life.
Yeah. So, you know, you just have to kind of do one, and they become kind of addicting. Like, we love to jump on and do lives. I would do a live every night if I could. They're just fun.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No. Which is why you don't.
Yeah. So
somebody's got to do the camera.
This probably does not look great to you all, and it doesn't look super perfect here either. But once it starts to dry, it'll get nice and subtle, kind of like the other side. We'll show you the other side. If you find that it's a little dark, you can mist it again, because we just put the paint on. If we mist it now, it's going to reactivate it, so we can blend real easily again. So let's turn this so you can see. And so I don't know if you can even see under here where it blends. And if you can find, especially if you're a beginner, I find if you can find a line, you know, a piece of trim or something to help you with that blending, it almost kind of, I don't want to use the word hides it, but it gives you some guidelines, you know, to where your colors can meet. So if you don't have a perfect blend, it's not as noticeable as it is maybe on a flat surface. So try to pick some edges to mark where your colors are going to meet. So here's a blend that we did already. And I would totally agree with what Amy recommended, guys. If you have not blended,
I wish we had better light.
Yeah, it's hard to see. If you have not blended, or you feel like you're not good at blending, or you want to give it a try, these two colors are really kind of nice and easy to try. You know, don't get like a red and a blue, or, you know, 3 different colors.
Hang on. I'm going to try to get a little bit more light on this.
It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, guys. So
we got fancy lighting. And we still can't get it right.
I know. All right, so I think we're coming up on time. If you guys have questions, well, we always go back. We answer the questions that are in the comments. Please go find your local retailer. If you haven't tried Dixie Belle Paint, go to their site, dixiebellepaint.com, put in your zip code, find your closest retailer. If you don't have one, lots of us offer links where you can order from us. So my affiliate link is up in the description. You can also get your Redesign with Prima products from us. Jump on over to our page. We'll be doing every Tuesday night. We'll be doing Tuesday tutorials at 6:15 Central Time. So we're going to do this weekly on our own page at Country Living Newbie. So we'll do different products. So we'll show you all the different Dixie Belle products. We'll be doing Redesign with Prima. We'll be doing Would You Bend, just put it on your calendar. We have every Tuesday in September. We'll be doing that. I think
that's it.
that's a wrap. All right, guys. Enjoy your Sunday and enjoy your whole week. We'll see you soon. Thanks.